Yeah. How are you, sir?
I'm good, thank you, Mr. Rusike. How are you?
Yeah, I'm alright.
Good. What is the situation in Zimbabwe right now?
The situation is tense because Zimbabwe had no government for the past, I can say, 45 years.
Really?
Yeah,
Do people know what's happening in Zimbabwe?
they know what is happening. They are not working because of that.
Do people outside of Zimbabwe know what's happening?
The people outside Zimbabwe, most of them, they really don't know. That's the thing. But we are trying from now onwards to tell the people what is actually happening on the ground. Because most people, they didn't know about this situation.
Okay. I heard that there's protests going on in Zimbabwe right now because of the situation. Could you tell me more about the situation in Zimbabwe, please?
The situation, as I said before, is very tense because these guys, they've been doing this for a long time. They've been doing this for a long time. They started way back, 45 years ago. They've been stealing, killings, and everything.
So there's human rights problems in Zimbabwe
There has been.
for 45 years. you say?
Yeah. It never stopped. So many people lost their lives through this.
Is there still a lot of poverty in Zimbabwe?
There is 100%. The country is poorer now. There's no government, as I said before. The people are starving as I'm talking. The whole population. There's no hospitals.
So there's no medical treatment.
There's no medical treatment. The whole country.
What about food and water?
Food is it's worse. Yeah, people are being told to dig their own holes and things like that, which was not there before. This is a new experience to the people. They never lived in that way. They are being forced to live that way through this barbaric government which is in charge now.
So what is actually happening with the government? What are they doing?
They are doing nothing. They are just stealing the money and killing people. As I am saying, you are not allowed to protest. 3 weeks ago, they were kids, young boys, youth.
Yeah.
When they shut down 3 weeks ago, they tried to protest. They were all detained. We don't know where they are now.
So
Yeah, they've been detained just because they are telling the government that what you are doing is wrong. They don't want to see people protesting against them.
So there's no democracy.
There's
in Zimbabwe.
nothing, there's no democracy at all. They used to claim that we fought for the people. But it was not the issue. They never fought for the people. They fought for themselves. They used to say, hey, our land, our African land and things like that were stolen. And what happened next? They take that land and shared that land among themselves. That's what they've done. There's no one benefited. And by doing so, they wiped out the food industry because they take all the land from the former English farmers, former Rhodesian farmers. So they've been doing everything, whatever they want. Until now, they wanted to change the constitution to be in charge until 2030. Just imagine. They've been ruining the country since 1980 to where we are now. They've been in charge, most of these thieves. They've produced the poverty. People are suffering as I'm talking. People are dying. Just imagine, there was a guy who died in Zimbabwe 4 days ago. I heard about 4, 5, 6 days ago. This guy went to hospital. Yeah, he was sick. And when he went to hospital, they couldn't treat him because there's no drugs in those hospitals. There's nothing. It's only water. Even the toilets are not flushing. No flushing toilets. You get what I mean? Right.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Right. After he passed away in that hospital, after he passed away, That corrupt government, they charged to his family, they wanted 400 pounds. 400 US dollars from these grieving families. That's how bad things are. Yeah, to someone who went to hospital for help, he didn't get that help. After he passed away, still they wanted 400 US from that grieving family. And these families in Zimbabwe now, most of them, they're relying with £1 a day. There's no jobs. There's no work. When they came into government, they closed down every company. There's no company working right now. You see how tense the situation is. They don't want to go. As I'm talking, they don't want to go. If they were clean, they were supposed to say, oh, we failed. If there's someone out there who knows how to run these things, yeah, things like that, they didn't do that. They want to remain in government when thousands of people are dying. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So as well as that, your country is in a lot of debt as well.
Of course. It's debt after debt. It's debt after debt, mate.
What do you want for Zimbabwe?
Yes.
What do you want for Zimbabwe?
Right now, we are trying so hard to make sure that this government is gone. This government is gone. We don't have to talk about these rubbish people. You get what I'm saying? We don't need them. We just want someone who knows what he's doing to be in charge of the country. Someone who respects human rights. Someone who knows how to create jobs for these people who are suffering right now. Someone who looks after the population. Someone who doesn't steal. You get what I mean? That's what we are looking for right now.
How are you going to go by this? What do you need to do to go by this?
The only way is to tell the whole world the situation in Zimbabwe. It's so bad. The world looks like they forgot that in Zimbabwe there's no government there. There's no government. These are corrupt thieves. They claim to be a government, but they are not. For example, last election they lost.
So
they were not elected, these people.
So they rigged the elections?
They rigged the elections to be where they are.
It's a capitalistic country.
I don't know what we can call it. These are thieves. They never win the elections. Right now, if you talk of elections, they will never win elections, these people. But they are claiming to be government.
What can the people of the world do to help Zimbabwe?
The people of the world, they must know the situation as I am talking. The situation in Zimbabwe is very bad. We need help. We need these people to go where they come from. Most of them are Zambians and Malawians. They are not Zimbabweans. Because the way they've treated Zimbabweans for the past 45 years, that's why you see a Zimbabwean everywhere around the world. Because of them. People are running away from them. These are criminals. There's no currency. They destroyed the Zimbabwean currency. There's no currency in Zimbabwe. They still want to be in government. Doing what? What are they doing? You tell me, what are they doing?
Causing havoc by the sounds of it.
Exactly.
What can the people of the world do to help Zimbabwe? We'll go back to the
They
question.
must support the Zimbabweans. Right now they are protesting. They must support them to make sure that in Zimbabwe there will be a new government.
How can they do that? How can they support?
They must know, as we are talking now, yeah, the people who hear what I'm saying right now, they must support the people of Zimbabwe to make sure that in Zimbabwe there will be a government elected by the people. These people were not elected.
Who is this message for?
For the whole world.
For the whole world?
Yeah, to know that in Zimbabwe, the people in Zimbabwe are protesting right now. They want a new government. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, people must know that the people in Zimbabwe are dying in their numbers because of shortage of drugs. There's no medications in the hospital. There's nothing.
So people need to share the message about Zimbabwe and the problems
Yes,
and
yes.
havoc that they've been causing to the Zimbabwean people since 1980.
Exactly. Exactly. That's what we are saying. They've suffered enough for the past 45 years. They must have a government now. These people must go. They know what I'm saying. Most of them, they don't belong to Zimbabwe. That's why they've done this. That's why they've done this. They are not related to us. They've destroyed everything. I can say everything here.
Can you please say more?
Yeah, there's nothing working in Zimbabwe. You know, 1980, before 1980, we had everything. For example, we had a functional airlines. We had a national railways, which is as good as you like. Everything was running. We had post office services for letters and things like that. Everything was running perfect until they take over. Now there's nothing. They're just buildings. Because of them, because of their bad policies. So we want the world to know that in Zimbabwe since 1980, we never had a good governance. That's why Zimbabweans are everywhere in the world because of that. If we had a democratic government in Zimbabwe, there will be few Zimbabweans outside the country because the country is so beautiful. It's only that there's no government. They claim to be government, they are not. They are not. And they don't want to accept that they've messed up the country. They don't, we don't know.
So the people of Zimbabwe need a better government. They need to be able to have food, to be able to have medical resources.
Yes, water and things like that.
To get out of poverty.
Exactly. The only way to get out of poverty is to kick these people out. There's no two ways about it. Now they are protesting. I'm trying to say to them, every Zimbabwean, if you are Zimbabwean, we must protest until these people are gone. Yeah. Then we can form a new government after these people are gone. Because they are criminals anyway. Most of them, they'll end up in prison.
Think about all the dying children.
Yeah, the dying children.
Families that can't eat.
Yes.
Barely any food each week.
Exactly.
I saw a report that they're barely eating 3 times a week rather than 3 times a day that we are
Exactly. That is exactly what is happening. Most of the kids are everywhere in the capital city. They are just like street kids because the parents, they can't afford to look after their kids.
So do you have to pay for education over in Zimbabwe?
Yes, they are being charged $100 US dollars to people who are not working. These people are just selling, tomatoes, things like that in the streets. But still the government wants $100 US dollars from these poor people. What happens is, it takes me back to say, these people, if they were related to us, they were not going to do things like that. You get what I mean? They were not going to do things like that. Things like that.